Arsenal today, the familiar figure of Pepe Reina, who's arrived on loan from Liverpool, making his first appearance here for Napoli. Gonzalo Higuain, the man signed to replace Edinson Cavani, is on the bench, not fully sharp yet. A new man from Real Madrid, Jose Callejon, is there in the number 7 shirt, and watch too for Marek Hamšík, who is a very, very fine player.
Well, the best players in this Napoli side are Inler, Hamšík, Callejon. Pandev has got a great left foot, and Insigne is a very young player, but an exciting player at that. He's played at lower levels up to this point. Hopefully he can step up and continue his goal-scoring record that he's had.
So that's the Napoli lineup. Remember that Serie A doesn't start for a week after the Premier League. So Arsenal, in theory, might be a little bit sharper. There's Rafa Benitez, who never won here at all in 6 visits as the Liverpool manager. Arsene Wenger saying to the press yesterday, remember, I've got a lot of young players who were introduced to the Premier League by my club, and I think that they can go well again, although Arsenal got a bit of criticism, didn't they, at the end of last season for celebrating so wildly about finishing 4th on the last day.
Well, I think that looks better that this season 4th place is, sadly, it's been a position they finished in more often in the past 8 years, and I think they're going to look to creep up the table and try and win the league, obviously, although I just don't think they're there yet, potentially get a world-class striker.
So Arsenal getting us underway here at the start of this tournament, and I should explain that it's 3 points for a win in this event, 1 for a draw, and also 1 point per goal. So the emphasis ought to be on attack. Napoli, and there's Pepe Reina's first touch for his new club.
Well, it'd be good to see Kieran Gibbs as well. I think he's had some injury problems of late as well, and I think it'd be important to get a full season out of him because he is a very good player and great going forward.
It's Carl Jenkinson in the right back position today. Jack Wilshere was a little buzz every time he gets the ball. He had to miss games again at the back end of last season and was used sparingly, bearing in mind his injury record. Important for England as well that he shows up well this time. Now Hamšík's on the chase here.
Well, Jenkinson does well, gets back in, good defending, but he probably should have done better. I think that was Insigne who's played it through, and if the pass was better, he would have had a chance to have a shot on goal.
The voice of Owen Hargreaves is with me today, part of our new BT Sport team. Have you been enjoying the coverage so far? We'll bring you all of this Emirates Cup competition, which continues tomorrow when Arsenal will be up against Galatasaray, who have already had a victory over FC Porto in a game of 3 penalties, only 1 of which was scored.
I think it's slightly a defensive setup from Napoli, really, with Pandev playing up front on his own. He's probably not an out-and-out striker, more of a number 10, really. Not the quickest of players, so that won't be a threat going in behind, but he's a great striker of the ball and has been the leading goal scorer for his country, Macedonia.
Napoli, by the way, Owen, were the top scorers in Serie A last season, even ahead of Juventus, who won the title. Is Podolski feeling it inside? This is Aaron Ramsey making a run. Cannavaro getting in the round. Britos, and Gnabry has a chance, and he's missed the chance to put his name up in lights, the teenager there.
Well, he's unlucky. I mean, it's great work from Ramsey, gets in a good position, Gibbs squares the ball, and defender was a little bit lucky. It's come to Gnabry, he's almost scored, just probably with his weaker foot, just put it wide of the post.
Did get a start last season in that crazy game in the League Cup against Reading. German under-18 international, was picked up from Stuttgart's books. Very, very quick. Theo Walcott is on the bench, incidentally. So too is Mikel Arteta. So is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So too's Bakary Sagna. And the 16-year-old everybody's talking about, Gedian Zelalem. This is chipped forward towards Pandev, who looked pretty sharp the other day when Napoli beat Galatasaray.
Well, they look like they're trying to get it into Pandev with high balls, but I just don't think he's going to be able to win those battles against Mertesacker. I don't see the point. His greatest strength is getting into his feet and trying to keep it on the floor.
Well, one of the reasons for Arsenal's big run at the back end of last season was their defensive work, almost George Graham-like scorelines. They only let in 5 goals in their last 10 matches in a run which brought them 26 points and secured another season of Champions League football. Of course, they leapfrogged above Spurs on the run-in.
Well, they started similarly as well. They started a great start to the season, conceding very few goals, and had a bit of a rough patch in the middle and finished strong again. So looking for Arsenal to be a little bit more consistent this season. I think they've got all the right ingredients. As we said earlier, they're lacking that world-class striker up front to get them those 30 goals. And then I think they could be a genuine threat to threaten the top 2 sides, or top 3 in Manchester City, Chelsea and Manchester United.
Mertesacker. Here's Jenkinson, who will be looking to press Sagna for that right back position this season. Ramsey playing it in.
Well, it was a good layup from Gnabry. First touch and then he spun, and Ramsey probably should have played him in again rather than looking for the through ball. And Gnabry would have been in a position to get 1v1 against the fullback.
Mesto playing it back. Reina going public with the fact that he wasn't altogether happy with the manner of his departure from Liverpool. There was a lot of talk that he might be going to Barcelona. That didn't happen, and then Liverpool signed Simon Mignolet as a new goalkeeper, and Reina was allowed to leave. I think he felt he might have been consulted a little more about the situation. But he is officially on loan for the season as Inler plays this ball forward towards Insigne, who's got a chance here and scores. Napoli take advantage and are ahead in the 7th minute.
Well, it's just a great little run for Insigne. We talked about him earlier. He's had a great goal-scoring record in the 3rd and 2nd division. He's come up every year, and he looks very exciting. He's very small, but it's just a great ball. Inler sees the run. Insigne gets inside. Jenkinson deals with it initially, but just comes back to him. Insigne, and it's a great little finish.
Well, Insigne got the winner against England under-21s in the summer. He does score useful goals. It's, you have to say, a mistake by Jenkinson.
Well, it's a mistake in the end, but I mean, it's great work from Inler. He's got the ball at his feet, look forward. Insigne's made a great little run to get him behind, and Jenkinson hasn't dealt with it. Sun might have played a part. There's a shady, sunny area there. He obviously couldn't see it when it came down, and in the end, it was a tidy finish from a very young player.
So a bit of a shocker for the fans who are here in very, very big numbers again to watch this pre-season tournament. This is Behrami, well remembered, of course, by West Ham United fans. He never won here in a West Ham shirt competitively.
Great distribution from Reina at their back. Insigne's in a great position again, in between lines. He looks lively, definitely.
Arsenal with plenty of work to do, you sense, maybe back there against a lively-looking Napoli side. Kieran Gibbs feeds this one inside. Wilshere helps it on. Here's Rosicki. Will be a corner.
Well, I think if they can get Rosicki and Wilshere in those positions, in between lines to run at defenders. I think Rosicky had a little resurgence again last season. I think he's a tremendous player. Played against him in the Bundesliga for a very long time, and I think he can be very influential for Arsenal again this season.
Remember, who had that big chance early on, which could have put Arsenal ahead. Instead, they're behind. Here's the young flyer again. Gibbs will have to go backwards here. Yes, Arsenal have been linked in the newspapers not only with Luis Suarez but earlier on with Wayne Rooney, Gonzalo Higuain, and Stefan Jovetic, who's ended up at Manchester City, was very much on the radar. Ashley Williams of Swansea as well, but no major signing so far. Still time, of course.
Well, if I was Arsenal, I'd look to get another centre-back as well. I think another athletic, physical centre-back who is a presence to the team. I think they have a lot of talented, skilled players, but I think they could do with a little bit of a leader type as well.
This Napoli towards Giroud, who nearly got there first, ahead of Cannavaro.
Well, it's great. Get the ball in between lines, up as you said, Rosicky and Wilshere. Get the ball wide to Gnabry, and he's just made the right decision in just getting the ball into the box, and strikers come across and the keeper's just dealt with it comfortably.
Amero, the left back. Gürkan Inler, key figure not only for Napoli but for Switzerland as well. They do like signing a Swiss international to Napoli. Their former coach, Walter Mazzarri, got the job at Inter, and now he's Cajon looking to break in behind, but the flag is up this time.
Similar run really from what Insigne did for the first goal. Cajon, he's just played on the shoulder and seen the pass again, and it was very close. I think Arsenal obviously have a bit of a high line and need to be careful that they're not conceding easy chances, because it's really one ball and in the whole team is virtually picked apart.
I wonder if Napoli will go as well again in Italy this season and go one better. Of course, they were champions twice in the Diego Maradona era.
Well, I think Juventus is the best side in Italy by some distance, but Benitez has set them up today quite conservatively, as he would, and I think they'll probably play on the break quite a lot.
Podolski, nobody there. Not in a yellow shirt anyway. And the break is on here with Pandev waiting in the middle. And then Napoli choosing to go backwards. This is a pretty big test for Arsenal here. Napoli, I think, means some business.
Well, the game has a better feel than the first one already. Obviously, the stadium's full and they're trying to get behind the Arsenal, but I think Napoli looks like they're in good shape as well. They started the game well, and they pose a threat that have as much possession as Arsenal have had as well, and looked the more dangerous on the other side.
Insigne, who got the goal, seems to have a kind of roving commission. He's turning up everywhere. He's switched from right, and now he's gone back to the left-hand side again.
Well, I think we'll see a lot of flexibility from those front three. He's obviously very small, Insigne, and he'll probably try and get in between lines and stay away from the physical defenders.
Here's Miguel Britos. Arsenal's Premier League campaign begins 2 weeks today at home to Aston Villa. Napoli begin in 3 weeks' time with a home game against Bologna. Don't forget you can catch the Italian Serie A action. It's good action too with us on BT Sport this season. Reina's giving that ball away. Gnabry, can he chip it in? It would be embarrassing for Reina if that went in. That could have been a horrible start for the former Liverpool man there.
Well, normally he's great in his distribution, and he's just a little bit lackadaisical. And to be fair, from the young Gnabry, it's an audacious little chip, and if that would have gone in, that would have been quite a start.
Free kick goes the way of Napoli here. Birami to Hamšík. One man that Napoli have signed is the Real Madrid defender Raul Albiol, who's not involved here. He's on the bench.
I've been impressed with Insigne's movement again. Just a small little thing, but he's just gone away from the defender and come back and give himself a little bit of space to receive the ball and pass it on forward. He looks very lively.
Here's Jack Wilshere. Here's Podolski. Gibbs for Arsenal. Nearly found its way to Giroud, who's been in very good goal-scoring form pre-season against lower-grade opposition than this, it should be said. The Indonesian Dream Team, Vietnam, Nagoya and Urawa Red Diamonds, the opposition so far for Arsenal. Here they're up against one of Europe's best teams.
Indonesian Dream Team, that might have been the first time I've ever heard that. I thought the Dream Team was the American Olympic basketball team.
7-0 it was, Owen.
Well, not much of a dream team then, was it?
Arsenal have won their own tournament here. 3 of the 5 times it's been held so far. It wasn't held last year because of the London Olympics. Jenkinson helps this forward to Rosicki, who had a good run towards the back end of last season. Gibbs.
Gnabry needs to be wider. Needs to be in a position to receive the ball and run at the defense. I think obviously that's the danger of Arsenal, playing through the middle too much, and in the end what happens, they need to go back. I think if they have a bit more width, the ball can go wide, and then they can go again.
Certainly Kieran Gibbs was hugging the touchline there, and he's into Wilshere. Wasn't sure that was the intended ball, but it worked well enough anyway. Here's Rosicki now. Gnabry on his left foot. The block was from Inla. Gibbs goes down, and the referee, what's he given here? Has he given the penalty kick? It looks like he has. Well, Napoli not happy, but it's yet another penalty here this afternoon. We had 3 in the first game.
Well, I'm not sure I'd be too happy either. It looks like he just jumps in, really. That is a terrible decision again. I mean, it's a bit of a bump, but he's just virtually fallen over, and probably not a great decision from the referee. Obviously, Napoli a little bit disappointed, as they should be, and a bit of a gift for Arsenal at this point.
Kevin Friend, the referee here, giving that for Berami's challenge on Gibbs, but I think Napoli are making the point that it was on the generous side, to put it mildly. Lucas Podolski is going to take it with a chance to put Arsenal level. Oh, the goalkeeper makes a save, Reina. Oh, what a start in a Napoli goalkeeper's jersey for him. A penalty save.
Well, we saw 2 poor penalties in the first game from Martinez and Lucho Gonzalez, and that was probably equally as bad as any of them. Really, he's hit the target, but with no conviction whatsoever. And obviously, Podolski's one of his greatest strengths is his ball striking.
Gnabry takes it. Mumbles of discontent from the Arsenal supporters.
I think in the end you have to give Pepe Reina credit. I mean, he's quick up his line, and he does make a good save. Podolski's hit the target, but just not convincing enough. You'd like to see him maybe try and put it in the top of the net or in the side netting. That was too easy to save.
Here's Carl Jenkinson for Arsenal. Hamšík, Slovakian he is. Insigne's ball forward to Mesto down that side, and now is it going to be another penalty kick? No, it isn't.
Oh, that was
against Pandev. That looked a stronger claim, but no, says Kevin Friend.
Maybe the refs are still in their pre-season as well. I think that was more of a penalty than probably definitely more than the first one.
There is a free kick given. Now Rafa Benitez is convinced here that his side.
Well, I think they're right. I think they have every reason to, and I mean, it's not a really a clear foul. But well, and what people forget is, you know, the refs have been out of work for quite some time as well. It gives them the opportunity to get used to the game speeds again, and they don't want to have controversial situations. But in the end, it creates a bit more by not giving it rather than just giving a penalty, which was probably one.
Rosicki. Good work here. Gibbs is behind Rosicki. Play back towards Podolski. Is that offside? Yes, it is. Giroud, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Flag has long since gone up.
Well, I think Rosicki's been lively, getting in positions with Wilshere and getting on the half turn. Gibbs has attacked, done what he does best, and Gnabry makes a great little touch there to provide it. But in the end, he's just a little bit offside. Like Giroud in those positions, just to finish a little bit better as well.
If you're just tuning in, Arsenal 0, Napoli 1. An early goal scored by Lorenzo Insigne for Napoli after some fairly indecisive defending. Gonzalo Higuain thinking about what might lie ahead in his new career, having left Real Madrid, for whom he scored 107 goals in 190 appearances. Not bad at all, that.
Well, I think Arsenal expected to see him at the Emirates this summer, probably not playing for Napoli though.
Well, it seemed like that deal was nearly done from what we were reading, and then maybe the fee seemed to change. Or
I think the fee changed and it probably went too high, and I agree with Arsenal. I wouldn't have done business at that price either. I think Napoli might have slightly overpaid, but he's a young player with a very good goal-scoring record, and they obviously had a lot of money left over from the Cavani purchase.
Well, they got 55 million and they paid 34.5, so we read anyway, for Higuain. Different jobs, still making the notes, Rafa Benitez.
With his familiar background staff, which they seems to go everywhere with him.
Tomorrow we'll have Arsenal against Galatasaray in this tournament, the Turkish champions who have already won earlier today against Porto. Penalties have been very much the theme of the day here so far. 4 of them, and only 1 has been converted by Felipe Melo for Galatasaray. Britos with the clearance for Napoli up towards Pandev. Might have a battle for his place from Gonzalo Higuain. He'll be very aware of that, I would think, Pandev.
going to be interesting to see how Arsenal lines up this season with Cazorla and Arteta. I mean, they obviously have 6 players in that central midfield, especially if Diaby can come back, although he's probably a long way off after his knee injury. But I think they have probably too many central midfield players for those 3 positions available.
Cazorla won't be involved today. He's not even on the bench because he was involved with the Confederations Cup, so late back compared to some of the others. Here's Gibbs here for Arsenal, and Giroud waiting to pull the trigger. Giroud won that header, and it was hammered away by Miguel Britos, the Uruguayan.
Rosicki looks lively again.
There's the youngster everybody's been talking about. Some say he's as good as Cesc Fabregas was at the same age. Gideon Zelalem, discovered playing for a team called Olney Rangers in Maryland, USA.
I think clubs and players and fans alike love to see a young player come through. It's so exciting, especially when you have a very highly talented one. It's be interesting to see how he does. Most important thing is give him time to develop his game and do what he does best, because he's already made a name for himself at such a young age.
Arsenal have signed one youngster, Yaya Sanogo, on a free transfer. He starred for France in their under-20 World Cup win, but because he was involved with that, he too is a comparatively late starter. Not involved here.
Well, Arsenal signing a young Frenchman doesn't sound like too much of a surprise.
No. Has been known. Ramsey to help it forward. Here's Rosicki. "20 minutes remaining in this first half. Wilshere was dispossessed. The brakes on here. Hamsik.
Great ball from Inler. They're definitely going to play on the break Napoli again. I think Rafa Benitez is probably the perfect manager for them.
Mesto. Laid back by Behrami, who's a regular for Napoli, the former West Ham player.
Good ball from Insigne again. Takes up another good position, comes inside. Another great ball at the back stick, unlucky.
Cajon it was who was trying to get on the end of that. Nice football again though from Napoli, and the build-up. Good fluidity about it, creativity.
So far, Insigne's decision-making has been very good. That's probably one of the biggest downfalls of young players, is making the right decisions in the right place of the pitch. And he seems to have done a very good job of that today.
Koscielny starred at the back end of last season, and of course Thomas Vermaelen, who's currently carrying an injury, couldn't get into the side. Hamsik here, with lots of grass to move into. Pandev, chance here, goes round the goalkeeper. Fabianski's got a hand on it, it's not enough. Oh, it's brilliantly finished by Goran Pandev. 2-0 to Napoli, and Arsenal were rather ripped apart there.
Well, in the end, it's too easy. Hamsik picks the ball up just beyond the semicircle in midfield and is able to run comfortably at the back four. In the end, it's 4v2, and Pandev makes a great run across. Mertesack's probably his biggest weakness is his speed, and he just makes a little run to the right here, and in the end keeper comes out, he takes a touch past him, and in the end it's a composed finish from Pandev.
Beautifully done, wasn't it, that?
Well, it was. It's good quality, but you'd have to say it's poor defending. The first goal was poorly defended. That was, again, they're up in numbers. It's 4v2. It shouldn't be that easy to play around.
Little message there from the Macedonian to Rafa Benitez, is obviously Gonzalo Higuain's going to be the main man, but Pandev just saying that I can still do that kind of thing, you know. He did only score 6, mind you, last season, and was subbed 16 times in Serie A.
Well, I think this is just a different level of opposition from the Indonesian Dream Team, which often teams play against in pre-season, whether it's a marketing thing or not. But obviously there aren't stiff competition, and Napoli looks, even though they're not playing at full speed, they look very good.
Jenkinson, played by Britos, alongside him there Paolo Cannavaro, who is the younger brother of the famous former Napoli player Fabio Cannavaro, Italy's 2006 World Cup winning captain.
And this is the danger that Arsenal run. They're high up the pitch with a lot of possession, and if they lose it here, Napoli is quick on the break and has exposed them a couple times. And it's great to keep the ball, but keeping the ball in these areas isn't really posing much of a threat to Napoli. They need to find a way to get it to Wilshere in between lines, and running at defenders is what he does best.
Play on, good advantage played there. Ramsey, Podolski, and Giroud is onside. We were wondering if the flag would go up. It didn't. This is not exactly what the Arsenal fans had in mind when they turned up here today. They've heard all the stories about £70 million burning a hole in Arsene Wenger's pocket. He's wanting to spend quite a bit of it on Luis Suarez. Liverpool have got other ideas. They don't want to lose him.
I think they need another centre-back. You know, honestly, again, here's Napoli on the break. They look dangerous. If he can get his head up and wait. Almiro's made a great overlapping run.
Amado plays it back, and it was Insigne again. It was blocked. He came back off Insigne and went wide. That could have been 3.
Well, just a great piece of play again. We talked about Arsenal losing the ball in positions, and Napoli is very quick on the break. Could have easily been 3-0. Great cross from Armero, and unlucky that Insigne, probably with a good finish, but it's just blocked by the defender.
Contain and counter, working a treat for Napoli here. Arsenal maybe just needing to get a little more tempo into their attacking work.
This is very much a Rafa Benitez makeup.
Wilshere towards Ramsey, was beaten in the air by Britos. Ramsey took a knock in the face as well for his pains. Arsenal want to pick up where they left off last season in the Premier League. In other words, on a terrific run. They're almost done without the summer break, it seemed. The way they finished the season, it looked like they weren't going to make the Champions League when they lost at Tottenham. They fell 7 points behind them, but they did turn that round. Now then, here's Rosicki. Giroud trying to play one round the corner to Gnabry, who's in possession now. Rosicki's offside.
Well, it's a great turn from Rosicki. He's got such a unique way of turning with the ball. It's actually beautiful to watch, and I think if he can get in those positions along with Wilshere, as we said before, and run at defenders, Gnabry looks quite lively as well, and he's made an impression for an 18-year-old. As we said, most important thing is going to be probably his decision making as a winger, because he looks like he can impact the game.
Pandit, by the way, who scored that second goal, has now scored 3 times in a week. He got one against the Serie B side, Carpi, last week. He got one on Monday against Galatasaray. He's got another one here.
Well, as we said before, he's a leading goal scorer for Macedonia, so he can score goals.
Ramsey plays it wide. Podolski! Oh, this was just wide.
Well, in the end, it was better. It was a little bit of a quick piece of play, and you'd fancy Podolski in that position with his favoured left foot, but maybe catches it just a little bit too clean, and it just skips past the post.
Needed that one really, Arsenal. Napoli taking the corner kick. Mertesacker and Reina with his fist. Ramsey! Always too narrow an angle, really.
Bit of a strange punch, really, from Reina. It looked like he probably could have caught that, and in the end, good delivery in from Gnabry. And it probably should have been able to catch that, and Ramsey probably should have done better. He could have just looped it across the box, or probably had a volley on target.
Pandev again. This time crowded out is Laurent Koscielny. Rosicki. Gibbs getting forward a lot down that left-hand side. As cross deflected, it won't be a problem for Reina. I just wonder whether the change of club, even though it appears to have been a little controversial, although it's on loan, of course, to Napoli, might be a nice change of scene for Pepe Reina.
I think in the end he had a great time at Liverpool, but I think they obviously wanted to move on. They've come in and signed a very good keeper, Mignolet from Sunderland, and I think it was probably just the right thing to move on, even though breakups are more often not never good.
Actually wrote an open letter, didn't he, to the Liverpool fans, explaining the circumstances from his point of view.
Do you reckon he wrote it? Do you reckon?
Don't ask me to guess things like that. Certainly with his approval. Why not? Here's Wilshere. Podolski.
No width again.
Ramsey. There's Giroud here. Two shots, but none from the players. Here's Rosicki.
No width again.
And the fullbacks are going to have to provide it. Ramsey, flag is off. One count. Offside. More frustration for Arsenal. That's been the way of it so far in the first 36 minutes here.
I think, as you can see there, everybody's inside the box, and you just need a little bit of width. There he is, just slightly offside, but I think you just need a bit more width to get the ball wide and then get across in, as Gibbs has done a couple of times today. And I think that's probably where Arsenal lets themselves down the most, is not having that width. I think you need to allow your creative players, as in Rosicki and Wilshere, to have space to work. And when you fill the midfield with your wingers as well, then it makes it more difficult on them to be able to create.
Mertesacker winning the header. He's up to 90 caps now for Germany. Both of these two clubs will be in the Champions League this season. And, it has to be said, Arsenal have qualified for the Champions League every season under Arsene Wenger. Britos won the header, towering header. Koscielny coming out from the back is Podolski. And now Rosicki. Deep, Napoli. Koscielny going up for the header. Didn't quite drop for Olivier Giroud.
I think it's a great example of Koscielny's attacking defense, really. He's so aggressive in the tackle, and somehow he ended up winning the ball at his own centre half, and then pushing up all the way and almost having an opportunity to score on goal.
Hammered away by Britos, and the chasers Pandev. A bit of a miscue that, to put it mildly, from Fabianski.
I mean, in all honesty, Napoli are quite comfortable. I think they're moving the ball around quite well.
And Ramsey left something on Behrami there.
quite remarkable to think he didn't play much at West Ham, but he can come to a Napoli side that's quite established and find a home in central midfield, even though I think at West Ham he played on the wing.
Another Swiss international, Behrami. He's a regular for this club. Right up at the top in Italy, of course. Here's Pandev again, enjoying the counter-attacking. There's no doubt about it. Hamsik. Now then, Arsenal's chance to break, maybe. Podolski leading the charge. He's only really got Giroud ahead of him. Gibbs was wide. They went back inside in the end. Ramsey finds a good ball to Gnabry.
That's not talented. And again, I think they needed a little bit more width there. I think they do well to break quickly. I think if Gnabry stays wide, a little bit wider, I think he can probably have a run at the defence. But in the end, they love to keep possession in tight areas. And I think, as we've seen in previous seasons, that it's not always the right thing.
Arsenal's corner kick with half-time approaching. Reina only just about got to that with his fist off balance. Gnabry muscled out of it really by Hamsik. Referee thought there was nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there was. I think physical defending is a thing that they're trying to control a bit more, and I just think he's
tremendous value for Napoli. Marek Hamsik, he only cost £5.5 million, and he's with his 7th season with the club. He scored plenty of goals and set up quite a lot more too.
That's a better position. The width from Jenkinson. In the end, the ball isn't good, but I think that the idea is better.
Ramsey to Rosicky. Giroud lays it off. Rosicky up with the outside of the foot, but it didn't quite work. And the break's on, led by Mesto, the right back. Mashani, who finished last season very strongly, quickly, and he's establishing himself in the France team as well.
He's their best centre-back, in my opinion. I know people might say Mertesacker, but I just like his aggressive defending, and he's a better athlete than the other centre-backs they have.
Comes up with the odd important goal as well, like the one that clinched 4th place on the final day at Newcastle. Wilshere. Giroud and Podolski letting the shot go in the end. Podolski plays it again to Kieran Gibbs. That's a good cross into a dangerous area.
Need to be careful here. Arsenal again on the break.
Two 2-0 down at home, Arsenal. Napoli, clever counter-attacking football. Theo Walcott and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in particular might be enticing ideas for Arsene Wenger at half-time. Here's Inla. Amero. Cannavaro playing away. Cannavaro's recently said through his agent he definitely wants to stay with Napoli despite transfer speculation. Now, Napoli have made an error there, and Ramsey's taking advantage. Plays it wide. Podolski, instead of shooting, plays it back to Giroud. It looked like Podolski might have had the slightly better opportunity there.
Well, Giroud's hardly had a kick. Great work from Ramsey to win the ball back. I mean, it's a striker in that position with the ball in your favoured left foot. You'd love to for him just get it out of his feet and just have a shot on target. But in the end, he tries to be unselfish and play it back to Giroud. and obviously the wrong decision. Giroud has hardly had a kick in this half. I think we'll potentially might see a change.
He's got 6 goals in 4 matches pre-season, Giroud, but as we were said, this is a much steeper mountain that Arsenal are facing.
How many did he get against the Dream Team?
You're not going to let the Dream Team go, are you?
Well, I love basketball, and there's only one Dream Team for me. Doing the name no good.
And it's not the Indonesian.
No.
Oh, he got a studs in the stomach there, but on the chase is Callejon.
How quick is Koscielny? I mean, Callejon is young and quick and in a great position, and you would have thought he'd be able to get a shot on target, but Koscielny has made up 4 or 5 yards in such a short space, and no wonder clubs like Bayern Munich were chasing him this summer. I think he looks great again. You see it here. Callejon's in a... He should have really won the ball, and Koscielny does so well.
That's half-time. It's not gone well. It's gone very well for him, though. Rafa Benitez. Napoli ahead early through Lorenzo Insigne. Goran Pandev added a very well taken second, and Arsenal, to compound all their problems, have had a penalty from Lucas Podolski, saved by Pepe Reina in his first Napoli appearance. It's got to get better in the second half of the Gunners. They trail 2-0 at half-time as we hand it back to Jake.
Yeah, thank you very much. It needs to get better, doesn't it? Arsene Wenger won't like what he's heard. Boos at half-time. He won't like what he's seen. It's Napoli who've been celebrating the goals this afternoon at the Emirates. We've heard so much about millions of pounds burning a hole in Wenger's pocket. The only holes so far have been in defence. We'll analyse it next.
We're ready. Are you? The Barclays Premier League kicks off live on BT Sport.
Get amazing discounts on luxury summer holidays at Secret Escapes. Booking my next one now.
Who are you talking to, darling?
Just myself. Definitely not him. Join the worst kept secret in luxury travel. Secret Escapes.
You versus being that guy. Poor Simon. His recent money mishaps have left him awkwardly on the edge of his friendship circle. Who could forget, oh, can I pay you later Friday? Where's my wallet Wednesday? But of course, this embarrassment could have all been avoided. With Ping It from Barclays, you can pay your mates back using just their mobile number and add a friendly picture to say thanks. For longer-lasting friendships, you can rely on your bank.
This is 10-year-old Gannett, who got up at 5 a.m. today, like every day, and is walking for 2 hours to collect water. She's done this since she was 5 and will do it for the rest of her life. Gannett goes to this tiny spring, which is the only water source for over 1,300 people. It contains parasites, germs, and animal waste. And today, like every day, almost 2,000 children will die from dirty water and poor sanitation. It's a deadly lottery. There is one thing you can do that will change everything for Gannett. Give her clean water by simply calling or texting WaterAid now and giving £2 a month. It'll give her the time and energy to study and the chance to earn a living, to be healthy, to live rather than just survive. WaterAid has a project plan for Gannett's village and has a mission to end the water crisis permanently and globally by 2030. A promise of £2 a month from you now is all it takes to help make this happen. Do the one thing. text WaterAid to 70099 or call 0800 011 4321 now.
Online dating again?
It's 2013, Grandma. Deal with it.
He's reeling one in.
She thinks I'm funny, but she's not sure about my photo.
Yeah, it's a bit fun, Dad. Quick, swap it for this one before she bails.
Just keep her smiling.
Not the cheese joke.
How do I feel about electrophobia? Fear of chickens is rare, but...
She means the band, mate. Tell her you got tickets to see him on Friday.
Have I?
You do now.
I've got a date.
8 times faster fibre optic broadband. Infinity, only from BT.
At British Gas, we're revolutionising the way our customers see their energy. We're upgrading you to smart meters, so you'll get accurate bills without submitting meter readings. And you'll get a breakdown of what you're spending on things like heating and lighting. With smart meters, you'll never see energy in the same way again. British Gas. We do more to look after your world.
Rock Adidas and Adidas, the sneaker leaders for years. You can say what you want, but my Adidas is here. The tire flyer like 40 bins in a Jag. Accent they rapper alive, the rip invented the swag. I'm in my pro models that I model like the pros. I go full throttle, I'm a lot like Terra. White superstars with the 3 black stripes. I'm like a god when I'm rocking this mic. We rule hip-hop and all of the sports. The man on the beat is A-Track, of course.
Welcome back. It's half-time at the Emirates. Arsenal are losing 2-0 to Napoli. Back there live for the second half in just a few moments. And also Steve McManaman and David James with their thoughts on the issues at the back for Arsenal. But it's a big day for football in this country. It's the start of the Football League. Also Scotland, they got going last night. The first game in the newly formed Scottish Premiership. I can give you a few headlines and all the scores will roll along the bottom of the screen, as you can see. Big one in the Championship. 4-0 away to Barnsley. Huge day for Wigan. Congratulations to them. QPR came from behind today to beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. Joey Barton playing, and by all accounts, playing really well. Last season's beaten playoff finalists Watford won 1-0 at Birmingham, so a big win for them. And well done Yeovil, a winning start to life in the Championship. 1-0 winners they were today at Millwall. That's big news for them. You know, they're running that club without an awful lot of money. And in the cricket, I can tell you that England 267 for 5. Kevin Peterson 106 not out.
Very good. Very good.
2-0 down at half-time. What's the issue at the back for Arsenal?
Well, I don't know what it is, talking about pre-season. Firstly, I thought a lot of the Arsenal players looked tired. We spoke about tiredness the other day in the Bayern Munich-Manchester City game, but a lot of the players looked slow, a bit lethargic today, whether it's because it's a nice celebratory atmosphere at the Emirates, but they need to pick the game up, don't they? Napoli, who are you know, if anything, a week behind us, look much quicker, much sharper and better to the ball.
OK, well, let's take a look at the opening goal then for Napoli. And question marks over Carl Jenkinson here.
Well, I mean, you don't need to necessarily to tell Carl Jenkinson, do you? It's just a poor header, that's all it is. He was caught in two minds. He could have played offside, but no, he's gone with Insigne. Gets there, no problem, just misjudges his header.
And he's looking to establish himself in the Arsenal team, so that's not great for him.
It's just a simple mistake, that's all.
And the speed of Per Mertesacker, what we're calling into question for that goal, David.
Yeah, I think the worrying thing for Arsenal, even with the first goal, is the distance between the back line dropping off a lot in the midfield. It's an easy ball into the space. The goal here, I mean, Mertesacker's distance from Pandev is probably because of the goalkeeper coming out. Goalkeeper's hesitantly come out. Had he stayed in his line, then it would have given him a chance to go and engage him. As he didn't, it was a decent finish, but it was an easier finish.
I think Pandev's movement's is good as well, Dave.
He was in,
he was out, and he's got Mertesacker turning round. He's a big, tall, 6'4" defender.
They look scared of the pace. And we're talking about signings centre forwards for Arsenal potentially. I think they need to be looking at defence.
Well, it's a Napoli centre forward we might talk about after the break, because if they're worried so far, Higuain may well be putting in an appearance, and we'll see you in just a couple of minutes as we look ahead to the second half of Arsenal Napoli.
Nacho burger?
Oh yeah, there's a nacho in it. Excellent.
That's nacho burger.
I've got it. There's a nacho in it.
Told you, that's nacho burger. I think you'll find that's mine.
Get a spice surprise with the new KFC Spicy Nacho Stacker. Zinger fillet, cheese, hash brown, salsa and a spicy nacho. It's Nacho Standard Burger.
Hey, that's nacho drink.
At British Gas, we're revolutionising the way our customers see their energy. We're upgrading you to smart meters, so you'll get accurate bills without submitting meter readings. And you'll get a breakdown of what you're spending on things like heating and lighting. With smart meters, you'll never see energy in the same way again. British Gas. We do more to look after your world.
Adidas and Adidas, the sneaker leaders for years. You can say what you wanna, but my Adidas is here. The tire flyer no higher, like 40 bins in a Jag. X and they rapper alive, the rip invented the swag. I'm in my chrome models that I model like the pros. I go full throttle, I'm a lot like Terra Gold. White superstars with the 3 black stripes. I'm like a god when I'm rocking this mic. We rule hip-hop and all of the sports. The man on the beat is A-Track, of course.
If you're a landlord, you need specialist insurance. With Direct Line Landlord Insurance, if something goes wrong, we're ready to help. With your own specialist claims handler to help get your property back in order and keep your rent coming in. So whether you have one rental property or lots of them, if you find a cheaper quote, we guarantee to beat it by 10%. So take the Direct Line.
You versus being that guy. Poor Simon. His recent money mishaps have left him awkwardly on the edge of his friendship circle. Who could forget, oh, can I pay you later Friday? Where's my wallet Wednesday? But of course, this embarrassment could have all been avoided. With Ping It from Barclays, you can pay your mates back using just their mobile number and add a friendly picture to say thanks. For longer lasting friendships, you can rely on your bank.
Online dating again?
It's 2013, Grandma. Deal with it.
He's reeling one in.
She thinks I'm funny, but she's not sure about my photo.
Yeah, it's a bit fun, Dad. Quick, swap it for this one before she bails.
Just keep smiling.
Not the cheese joke.
How do I feel about electrophobia? Fear of chickens is rare, but...
She means the band, mate. Tell her you got tickets to see him on Friday.
Have I?
You do now.
I've got a date.
8 times faster fibre optic broadband. Infinity, only from BT.
Get amazing discounts on luxury summer holidays at Secret Escapes. Booking my next one now.
Who are you talking to, darling?
Just myself. Definitely not him. Join the worst kept secret in luxury travel. Secret Escapes.
You said you want to, so all I care for is you.
Adam with Siri Eyes Free through your iPhone. Stay connected anytime, anywhere. Adam from Vauxhall.
There is no education quite like adversity. What we learn from our past can lead to a whole new beginning, the chance to become a hero. Prosperity is a great teacher, adversity even greater. Their journey back continues. Rangers versus Brechin, next Saturday midday, live on BT Sport 1.
Well, there may be a smile on Arsene Wenger's face in that photograph. Something tells me he won't be smiling. His players have been toiling somewhat in the sunshine in North London today. That perhaps sums things up for Arsenal up front, because we've spoken about Arsenal at the back. Let's talk about Arsenal going forwards.
Well, going forwards, there hasn't been much, as there was the penalty save, of course. You'd expect Podolski to, to score this goal. Was it a penalty? Was the first one, and we all thought absolutely not. So they've won the penalty at first. You know, you can't say that's a penalty, can you? Really? I didn't think it was a penalty.
And Steve said this was a bad penalty. You said it was a good save, but I think we'd expect you both to have that opinion, wouldn't we?
I think Pepe Reina's tremendous in penalties, especially when he was at Liverpool. He was very consistent going the right way and saved quite a few penalties. I think it's a great save, yeah.
OK, absolutely. Well, perhaps they should have shot a little bit later. Arsenal on the edge of the box. And your frustration here, Steve, is just not having a pop at goal.
Yes, whether it's a lack of confidence by Lucas Podolski here, but Aaron Ramsey does very well, puts it onto Podolski's left foot. That's the one. Even if he has a touch and strikes it, well, he just lays it off, passes the responsibility on to Giroud.
This is the thing about what I think about Arsenal at the moment, and last season especially, was they were getting in positions there. We have a centre-forward shooting. Is he expecting a midfielder to be running in with fast sticks, scoring a goal? No, he wants to try and score himself. Podolski's in exactly the same position. Just shoot.
OK, well, these are live pictures, as you can see. We're back to the Emirates, and there are changes afoot. Of course, Higuain is a man who was linked with Arsenal in the summer. He even came out and said he wanted to join Arsenal. The story that we've all been told is that they had talks, and eventually he signed for Napoli. Rather interesting way of wearing your socks. Have you seen that before, Steve? He sort of chopped them off and worn them over the top of the socks he's already got on. Perhaps he doesn't like the Napoli socks, but I think we'll try and work out what that's all about. Perhaps it's the colour of the tape.
Now he has to put tape on them.
Ridiculous. Right, well, let's hand back to our commentators. Owen Hargreaves is up in the commentary box alongside Ian Dark. And gentlemen, this will be a painful moment for all the Arsenal fans in the stadium watching Higuain running out wearing a light blue kit.
Yes, thank you, fashion gurus, for your comments on Gonzalo Higuain's footwear and protection. Yeah, it will be. I mean, the story of what might have been for Arsenal fans who want to see some of the money spent. They'd have loved to see this guy arrive from Real Madrid, but not to be.
Well, in all honesty, I don't think he would have made a dramatic difference in helping them win the league. I think the price at which it was being quoted in the papers, I just think was too high. And in the end, I think to walk away from the deal was probably a wiser move than overpay for somebody where they could potentially get Suarez. I'd rather pay 40 million for him.
Napoli 2-0 up here. And also on the Italian international, I think wing-back is what we have to call him, Christian Maggio is in possession now. Pretty effective for Italy when used, including in the Confederations Cup when he looked like the best player on the pitch in their game against Spain, which went to penalties. So he'll be a threat, definitely, down that side. Pandev has gone off, having scored his goal. Higuain getting his first run out for Napoli. It took a little while for the international clearance to come through. He cost £34.5 million in the end.
Well, I think if Higuain can have as big of impact as Pandev did in the first, I think they'll be very pleased. I thought he played great for them leading the line, even though he's probably not a traditional centre forward.
Bayrami, here is Higuain. Koscielny getting the challenge in.
I think again there Koscielny shows in 1v1 physically he's more than likely probably going to win a lot of those battles, and Higuain is probably not the quickest, but he's very creative in and around the box and a great finisher as well.
He's the man who scored the first goal, Lorenzo Insigne, with the corner kick for Napoli. Britos arriving from the back, away by Aaron Ramsey. He finished last season pretty strongly and is a regular starter in the side. Britos with the cross and catching practice really for Lucas Fabianski. Rosicki.
He's been Arsenal's best player today by some distance, in my opinion.
Here's Gnabry, almost invited in. Podolski lays it back. Here's Giroud. Wilshere plays a nice run too. It's Jack Wilshere. It's still Jack Wilshere. and he couldn't finish it off. That would have really raised the roof here had Wilshere scored.
Well, in the end, it was good play. I think Ramsey, Wilshere, they combined well inside the box. And it's a great little one from Wilshere. 1-2, shimmies around him, gets a little bit lucky, and just scrapes it across goal. I think obviously he would have preferred that to have it on his left foot, but hopefully there'll be some goals from Jack Wilshere this season. We know he's great at running at defensive with the ball.
Maggio with the header on. Italy's Serie A doesn't have the glamour it used to have in the early 90s. There have been problems with hooliganism, and you'll have read about match-fixing difficulties as well. But I think Juventus, we saw last season in the Champions League, are a more than useful side, and this Napoli team aren't half bad either. And Italy having a bit of a revival under Cesare Prandelli as well on the international front. I think they might go well at the World Cup next summer.
Well, I think they've found a good balance, and I think they have some great attacking players, which they've always had, but I think they're playing with a little bit more adventure than they have previously, and it's worked very well for them.
Here's Jenkinson for Arsenal. He did make his England debut against Sweden last season. Rosicki, well watched by Gürkan in there. Now a break is on again, and this is where Napoli have been very, very dangerous. Hamšík, and they all want to join in with it as well. Mesto's ball wasn't quite good enough.
Koscielny has done so well. Great little touch from Rosicki.
Jenkinson feeds it wide. Here's the teenager Gnabry. Had that big chance early on in the game. Had that gone in, just wonder whether things might have been a little different. Wilshere, by the way, has been eased into the new season. Only had his first start of the pre-season in that game against Urawa Red Diamonds in Japan. So this is the second one. So he'll just be working up to concert pitch. And Arsenal will hope that arrives on the opening day against Aston Villa in the Premier League.
Well, he looks good. I mean, considering he's still so young, he's shown so many glimpses of why everybody's so excited about him. And if they can find a way to keep him healthy this season, they have a much better chance of competing for the top spots.
Just got the feeling that one Arsenal goal here might dent Napoli's ring of confidence a little and change the mood of things. Getting it might be quite another thing.
Well, they've been there about. They haven't played poorly. You can't say they've played poorly. They probably just have defended poorly. And I think they need a little bit more of a threat up front. Podolski's been in positions to take shots and take chances, which he hasn't taken. Giroud looks like he's not posed a threat at all today. I think Wilshere and Rosicki have looked good, and I think they need a little bit of a threat up front a little bit more.
Podolski looking to provide exactly that with a driving run at the heart of the defence, which has at least won a free kick in pretty dangerous position some 25 yards out.
Well, I think they miss the little Spanish genius in Cazorla. I think he's proven over the years he's a great dead ball striker, and this is such an important part of games, especially in these games that are so close, to have a player who can, as we saw earlier with Drogba with a great free kick, and Cristiano Ronaldo has scored so many of his goals from set pieces.
It's going to be Giroud, by the look of it, to hit this one. Got 11 in 34 in the Premier League in his first season in England last season.
The only worry is, can he get it up and down in the meantime? I mean, it's 25 yards out probably. I wonder if it can go up and come down.
Let's see whether Giroud's got the winning touch. He goes for power, and predictably he goes straight into the wall.
I hate those free kicks. I don't understand why people step up to take free kicks to hit people in the shins.
Mertesacker thought about a volley. Podolski just forced wider than he wanted.
I didn't realise Mertesacker played in the hole there, being a little bit of a playmaker for Arsenal today. And again, Podolski kind of sums up his day a little bit, which has been a little bit a little bit disappointing, and he's had the opportunity to get a shot on goal and hasn't taken it yet again.
Love a clean sheet here, wouldn't he, Pepe Reina? First time out and a penalty save. Arsene Wenger, no substitutions made yet, but I think one or two might be quite imminent. Maybe Mikel Arteta will get a run in midfield. Automatic choice in the league, so far anyway. Hamsik, beautifully done. And Inla. Quite enjoying the space they're getting in these breakaways. Napoli, and they're clever enough to take advantage of them. Whether they can set up Gonzalo Higuain for a goal on his first appearance, that would really cap it, I think, for Napoli.
Well, they would. I'm not sure why he's given a free kick there. I thought it looked like it was a very good tackle from Jack Wilshere. But again, Napoli got themselves in a position where they were ready to counter-attack, and you know, they look quite comfortable at this point. I think it would be good to see potentially Chamberlain, Walcott, and the one I think the fans would love to see is this 16-year-old Zelala.
It would be a tough ask for him, wouldn't it, coming on against an experienced and accomplished Napoli side.
But sometimes for a young player, it's the best thing. There's nothing to lose. The fans want something to cheer about, and I think to bring on a young player.
Going to see Theo Walcott shortly. Bakary Sagna will be introduced too.
This game has such a better rhythm to it than the first one. It's much more like a real game, played at a better tempo and better quality as well.
Don't forget, we show Arsenal against Galatasaray for you tomorrow. Amero. Played in towards Behrami. Hint of an opportunity. Gibbs just did enough. That might have been another one. A knock in the face, Behrami, as well.
Well, his quality again, Insigne on the ball and coming inside and delivering a perfect cross. And in the end, I think Behrami probably could do a little bit better.
Bakary Sagna and Theo Walcott being introduced here. Had his best scoring season for Arsenal in the last campaign. He got 21 in all competitions, including a couple of hat-tricks. So Gnabry has to make way. Might have scored today. And things worked a little differently. And off comes Carl Jenkinson to be replaced by Sagna, the first choice right back. So Walcott's addition, might that be the difference, do you think, Owen?
Well, he'll provide that threat of pace. I mean, he had a great goal-scoring season last season. I would have liked to have seen the young man Gnabry stay on. I think he was more of a threat in the first half than Giroud and Podolski were, but he's elected to keep both of them on and bring on Walcott and play him from the right rather than through the middle, which he seems to prefer that season.
Gibbs intercepts it well. Here's Walcott's first involvement. Big year, of course, with the World Cup, we hope, for England. And at the end of it, there's work to do to qualify, of course. Sagna's first ball in.
Well, it's not a bad ball. I think Sagna's come on. He's probably a better attacking fullback than Jenkinson. And they've put in a decent ball, not a great one, but you'd like to see Giroud or potentially even Podolski coming in at the back stick.
It's Gideon Zelalem. According to Jack Wilshere, he's kind of the same sort of level that Cesc Fabregas was at the age of 16. But of course, you've got to go out there and do it at first team level. Of course, Fabregas did exactly that when he was 16 here, didn't he?
Well, the players, you know, the players, they don't lie. And I remember Uli Hoeneß said at Bayern Munich, there's no such thing as all the young players. They're just good or bad players. And I believe that.
Here's Higuain. Again, Koscielny, determined not to give him any kind of dream debut.
I think Koscielny's been flawless today. I mean, his defending has been so good.
Ramsey. No way through, and then he gets involved in an argument with Messi over the pushing and shoving, nothing much.
But there's no point in Ramsey being in that position and running at people on the wings. He's not the quickest, he's a creative player, and I think to be down in the wide running into a empty channel, there wasn't much point to it.
Led off by Insigne to Beirami. Hamsik couldn't quite control that, a rare poor touch from him. Wilshere helping it on. Sanya, now then Rosicki, there's some room here. Walcott inside, looking to bend one towards the far post.
Well, I think he showed his pace and the threat that poses, and it was so easy for him to just run at the defender and come inside, and I think that's one thing that he does do very well.
Rosicki. A little bit of invention, cleverness in there to open up that Napoli defence. Hamsik surely offside. Higuain, yep, he knew it too.
So far, I think that the only two players who are playing probably up to their level, or three, is Wilshere, Rosicki and Koscielny. The other ones have been a little bit quiet.
Giroud. Surely a free kick, yeah, it will be. We're going to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain shortly as well, by the look of it. Yep, time to get ready. Walcott to take this. Well defended. Back in by Wilshere, and well, almost an own goal by Beirami. Higuain. Koscielny's winning that little battle hands down so far, and I think he's pretty determined to win it as well. Walcott. Giroud. Four around him. Lovely ball. Ramsey just forced a little wide. Podolski. It looked for a moment there as if Arsenal might be in. Wilshere should be the goalkeepers.
Well, there was a clever little piece of play, and I think Ramsey very unselfishly just plays that onto Podolski, and yet again he makes the wrong decision. I mean, time and time again he's done that today, and a little bit disappointing to be in those positions and not have any end product.
Napoli also are going to make a change, bringing on Raul Albiol, who's left Real Madrid like Higuain and like Callahan to come to Napoli. A useful, experienced defender who was certainly eyed by one or two Premier League clubs, but he's going to Italy. He's gone to Italy.
Well, he'll definitely be first choice, I think, when the season comes around. I still think he's obviously getting used to his new teammates, but he'll be a good addition to a solid Napoli side already.
Britos has come off, I think, there.
Arsenal substitution, Aaron Ramsey.
And Aaron Ramsey making way here for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Mikel Arteta coming on to 6 substitutes allowed in this, which is comparatively sane compared to some pre-season friendlies we've been seeing where all 11 have changed.
Substitution, Jack Wilshere.
Jack Wilshere is restricted to just over an hour. Still only won 7 caps for England. There's so many hopes pinned on him.
I think he's a tremendous player. I think he offers everything. I think as a winger, as a central midfield player, I think he's creative. I think he runs at players. I think he makes good decisions, and I think a lot of young players could use him as an example on how to model their game.
Let's hope, from England's point of view, that this is a massive year for Jack Wilshere, when he's completely free of injury. Inler plays it across to Insigne, who's taken the eye here. Player who scored lots of goals in the lower divisions out on loan before really making his name in the top division in Italy for the team he's playing for here today.
And Inler has quietly orchestrated the midfield. When they've been in possession, he's been very comfortable. He's very physical and tough on the tackle, and he's done a terrific job tonight.
Yeah, he's Mr. Experience in there. 66 caps for Switzerland. By the way, you can catch them shortly with us on BT Sport up against Brazil in a glamorous friendly match. Here's Arteta. Directing operations after what he will see as a job well done at Chelsea last season. Finishing 3rd, winning the Europa League. Now then, is another very fine signing. Dries Mertens, part of the star-studded Belgian side at the moment. Hamsik coming off Mertens. He's a good little player. He has arrived from Dutch football, where he's had 16 goals and 17 assists last season, and involved straight away.
Wow, those are great statistics, I mean, for any player, really. And I think Napoli have done well. They've spent wisely on good players, not necessarily the biggest names, but players that are going to be a positive addition to the squad. And I think often at times clubs go out and try and buy players just at times, it seems, for filling a spot rather than buying the right player that fits the team's needs.
This ball, Higuain. And here's Mertens. Insigne.
Well, it was good play. I mean, Higuain saw the pass, played a great little ball in, and it'd be nice to see how Mertens and Insigne will link up together. I think they're both similar players, creative and goal scorers, and similar in stature, and I think they'll be interesting to see this season.
Napoli determined to hold on with what would be a really good win for them and for Rafa Benitez. Don't forget, Arsenal in action again tomorrow against Galatasaray with a 4 o'clock kickoff. Watch that with us on BT Sport. Didier Drogba in the Galatasaray lineup with a ferocious record in his Chelsea days against Arsenal, which won't be forgotten, that's for certain.
Well, he looked equally as he looked, if not as good as he has done in the past. He looked great today. He was probably the best player on the pitch yet again.
35 now. That's tomorrow. This is today. 2-0 down, Arsenal here. Higuain, misunderstanding with Beyrabi. Can Arsenal take advantage? No, they can't, because Higuain's got it here. Not a lot of support, mind you.
Well, I don't think you'll see Podolski on the pitch much longer. He's given the ball away a couple of times again now, and he's had a disappointing afternoon. And I just wonder if Arsenal thinks they can potentially win the league with Podolski on the left and Giroud up front. I think if you look at the other teams and the quality they have in those positions, I think it's a difficult comparison to make.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. Turn of pace, of course, he scored that terrific goal for England in the 2-2 draw away in Rio against Brazil. Mesto. Insigne again making those runs from the left-hand side, diagonal runs not always being picked up. Mertens was in there as well.
Well, I think we might have seen Koscielny's first mistake today defensively. He's just been so good. He reminds me a little bit of Company in the way he defends so aggressively and always putting pressure on people. And I think they could do with a similar player next to him if they can find one.
Time's beginning to run out. There's been so much talk in the newspapers, but only Manchester City really of the major clubs in England have made what you'd call big signings. That could all change in the next week. We'll see. Mertens.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see some more activity coming up. Often one move.
Walcott leading the counter. Only Rosicki's up there with him. Giroud's arriving, and it's a disappointing ball, easily cut out by Albiol.
But even in that, I think Arsenal need more numbers getting forward and just not enough people joining in the attack.
Higuain. Mertens is saying, I just wanted that slid in behind as apologies from Higuain to his new teammate.
Well, that is, I mean, he's a very good player, but that was dreadful, really.
I think he knew it. Hands up.
To be fair, he hasn't done much since he's come on, and in all honesty, as the figure they talked about earlier, 40 million, I just think it's a little bit too high of a price to pay.
I think it's 34, wasn't it? 34 and a half. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Certainly more than Arsenal wanted to pay. Rosicki to Oxlade-Chamberlain, or towards him anyway. Armero just forcing him a little wide. Sagna. Away by Cannavaro. You have to say Pepe Reina, other than the penalty, hasn't really had to make too many big saves here, has he?
No, they haven't tested him enough. They've been in positions to, especially Podolski, but just haven't really tested him.
Wide by Oxlade-Chamberlain to Sagna. Gibbs. And Reina's looking to get Mertens in with that clever piece of quick thinking by the goalkeeper. He saw Mertens up there and thought he might be able to set something up.
Well, if he could have taken it in the air and taken a touch, he would have had a chance, but it just bounced and he just got crowded out by the bigger defenders. The most likely source of inspiration is going to be Rosicki. He's been tremendous today.
Now then, Giroud. Reina made the save, a fancy with his knee in the end, but that was enough. But that was better from Arsenal.
Well, it was a good piece of play and in quite quick and decisive. I think Rosicki again is at the part of it. Giroud takes a great touch and gets a decent shot on net, but probably not good enough to be the keeper of Pepe Reina's quality.
Chipped corner, and it's put into the back of the net as well. Terrific piece of play from Giroud. Measured that, and it went and bounced in the corner for his 7th pre-season goal.
Well, it's a very strange corner. He's just floated it in very casually, and it looks almost planned, and it's an overhead kick that would have gone 10 yards wide, but it's just taken a deflection of Sagna and gone in the corner.
tried taking it away from Giroud, but you're right, it did. The deflection off Sagna made sure it went into the net.
Sometimes you need a bit of luck to get back into a game, and I think they've definitely got it there.
Well, that's got the Arsenal fans going. There's no clean sheet for Pepe Reina after all here. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Rosicky. Napoli rather sitting back now and just looking to play on the counter, inviting Arsenal on. Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's a big year for him, isn't it? I mean, I know it's a bit of a cliche. You say that every year about everybody, almost. Big year, but I think it is, isn't it, for this youngster?
I think he's a great player. I think he's got all the talent and all the attributes. And I like the way that he takes chances, that he goes forward and tries to make things happen rather than just play comfortably. And I think going forward, he might have a few bumps along the way, but he's going to be a great player for very many years to come.
Again, England will hope so too. Is Podolski laying it inside here to Mikel Arteta.
And that's the width that they need in that position. I just need a good delivery.
Sagna in towards Giroud. Reina just about. Fingertips and then gathers it as it drops. Christian Maggio. Under the format of this competition, at least that goal will be worth a point for Arsenal. Goals are rewarded on that way for this competition only. Walcott. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Big injection of pace with those two out there.
Well, I like Chamberlain in midfield with his power as well, running from midfield, and I think it could be something for the future as regards to Wilshere, Rosicky and Chamberlain playing in the three. Technically all very good and very dynamic.
Napoli substitution, 24.
Former Liverpool man Andrea Dossena is about to come on. Just have a look at the goal again. You could argue that Sagna should be credited with this because is that going wide? It is, I think, from Giroud before it hits Sagna and goes in.
Well, it's 100%. It's going to go wide, and it looked nice live. It looked like it was a great strike, and it was a overhead kick off a corner, but it was just a little bit of luck.
Insigne, having scored, goes off. Dossena wasn't really a big hit at Liverpool, though he did score against Real Madrid and in a huge Liverpool win at Old Trafford against Manchester United. These were his only 2 goals for Liverpool. Quite pleased to report there is no dubious goals panel pre-season for friendlies. It's Giroud really should get the credit for that, but you can argue it any way you like. Here's Rosicky. Walcott. Arsenal looking more dangerous than they have at any point in the game, really. Giroud going up. Was beaten in the air by Mesto.
Well, there's just a little bit more speed to Arsenal's attacks, and they're getting the ball wide and getting a good delivery in, and I think that's how it should be, rather than just trying to play slow build-up through the middle.
Better tempo, isn't it? Giroud can equalise here, but he doesn't. Flag was up anyway.
But he might have scored 2, and both would have been incredibly lucky. Obviously, it's offside. Takes a massive deflection, goes right to him, and he potentially would have scored 2 goals with not having done much before it.
Shouldn't really have been given offside. That it was deflected into his path. There are some changes in relation to the offside law this season, minor ones, which we won't
Yet
go
again.
into
Yet again.
in detail here. Nesto to chip it forward. Maggio on towards Higuain, who hasn't really had a look in since he's come on.
Well, if you're an innocent bystander, you wouldn't have known that they paid 36 or 34 million for him. And maybe he's obviously still getting back into shape. He's a proven goal scorer, and he will be a great addition to the side. Probably won't score as many goals as Cavani has done previously, though.
His first action in a while as well. Yeah, Cavani was top scorer in Serie A last season with 29. Mertesacker gets it away. Romero, nothing doing there. Slightly difficult problems for the coaches with a tournament like this coming at the time it does. 2 matches in 2 days. Who do you play and for how many minutes over the 2 days? Walcott.
Yeah, I think logistically it has to be done like...
Sanya sent crashing by Dosena. And what's the referee going to do here? It is yellow.
Just a bit of a clumsy challenge, really. He's just lumped into him for some reason. But I think more often than not, players just pull out of that one, especially in a pre-season friendly.
The referee's not finished dealing with it. He still wants a word with Dosena. He's doing a bit of talking about it as well. He probably learnt enough English during his time at Anfield.
I think we'd rather see the game than someone get a talking to.
I think that was pretty clear. Arteta. 10 minutes left. Arsenal looking for an equaliser here. Up goes Giroud. He couldn't quite grow tall enough. Back in by Rosicki. Napoli are holding on a little bit here now. Ooh, it's a poor touch by Inler that time. Leave it, says the skipper, Inler, to his teammate. I have to say, it's a great turnout by the Arsenal supporters for this pre-season event. I think it'll be just as full tomorrow as well, when we'll bring you Arsenal Galatasaray. They don't all play each other, the 4 teams in this tournament. There are 2 games, and it's decided on a points basis. It's interesting to hear the boys in the studio saying 1 or 2 of them that Arsenal looked a little heavy-legged in the first half because they've got a lot of air miles on the clock. It's a nasty old trip from a jet-lag point of view back from the Far East.
Yeah, I think the lads are always looking forward to get back home and get in the comfort zone again.
She only brought it down, but only played it to Higuain. He's got Dosena there for company on the left-hand side. Here he is, and it's aimed towards Dries Mertens. Cut out by Fabianski.
Great touch.
Yeah. Beautifully done by Maggio. Mertens here.
Been impressed with Mertens since he's come on. I think he looks a great addition to this Napoli team.
Here's Arteta, who's proved a decent buy for Arsenal, having moved from Everton, where of course he was exceptionally influential for quite a long time. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, good hit, and smash run from about there to score against Brazil earlier on in the summer.
I think that's what it shows. You can get the ball wide, you have the width, and then you can come back inside if necessary, and then there is space to take a touch and have a shot. In the end, it was a good touch and a good strike from Chamberlain, just not good enough.
Spread wide, cut out by Sanya. Here's Gibbs. Sanya down the line to Theo Walcott. Can't blame them. Napoli have kind of sat on the lead in the second half.
Yeah, I think they've just taken the foot off the gas a little bit, and I think since Sanya's come on, I think Giroud's come into the game a bit more. I think they've got more crosses in, and they've just looked a little bit more dangerous. Up to that point, they looked a little bit toothless, Arsenal, and I think getting the ball wide and getting into the box quicker has definitely been a positive.
Another change here. Valon Berami comes off to be replaced by another very fine Napoli servant and another Swiss international, Blerin Gemaili, who did have an injury-ruined spell with Sam Allardyce at Bolton Wanderers a few years ago. That one never worked out, but this time with Napoli has worked out. 34 games he played last season. I think we might very shortly see Chuba Akpom, who scored the winner in the last game in Japan last week. Another of the youngsters. 2-1, 5 minutes remaining. Mertesacker, great save from Reina, that one, but it's in! Oh, the rebound! Koscielny in the goal, and Arsenal are level.
Wow, that's such a great delivery from Arteta, and deservedly so. Koscielny gets the winner when he's been arguably, well, he has been Arsenal's best player today, along with Thomas Rosicky, and they're back in this game. Great delivery from Arteta. Great save from Pepe Reina as well, and Koscielny just wants some more, like he has all game. He's been very aggressive. Anybody could have won this ball. Mertesacker with a great header, and Koscielny just comes from nowhere and wins it, and that's what you want, a little bit of bravery in the box, defending and offensively in set pieces, and I think he's been very brave today.
He was the one running onto it with the momentum. 2-2. It's a good fight back this from Arsenal. And that's lifted the spirits of the Arsenal fans for certain. Higuain, who's obviously not fully sharp in his first appearance for a while, has been very, very quiet for Napoli thus far, though he might only need half a second to change all that.
I don't think he could go around Koscielny ever, really, in that situation. 1v1, he's just too quick for him.
Nesto's run is blocked. And Arsenal will be thinking now, we might even win this. Gökhan Inla. Right to Pablo Amero. Rafa Benitez, who never had an away win competitively in 8 visits to Arsenal. 2 at Highbury, 6 here in his various managerial capacities. And looks like he might be denied again here late on.
Maggio's done well since he's come on as well.
Nesto. Higuain did get a useful looking cross in, played by Fabianski. He's looking to get Arsenal rolling forward again. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Nicely measured for Sanya. Rosicki.
Yeah, I think on the show, when they play with urgency, they can be such a great side, but at times they try and keep too much possession, slow build-ups, and I don't think it suits their players.
The ball brilliantly won back by Sanya, and here's Walcott. Crowded out in the end, all those blue shirts around him. Might get another bite at it though. Walcott plays it in towards Giroud. Giroud doesn't quite landed his feet. It's just Akpom who's come on amid all the kerfuffle going on further up the pitch. Only 17, academy product, England under-19 international, and a winning goal in Japan against Urawa at Red Diamonds last week. Two minutes of added time there's going to be, we're told. Maybe something though here for Napoli. Mertens was looking for that one. Simaili it was who set him up. Rosicki with an important and quite brave touch. Akpom goes past Nesto, is the teenager. It's a free kick as well.
Chamberlain needs to be careful losing the ball in a position like that, especially late on in a game. Managers definitely don't like that. Koscielny bailed him out, and great piece of defending, and great to see the young attacker get at the defence.
Seconds to go. Arsenal, free kick. Theo Walcott, Mertesacker, forward. Koscielny, forward. They're looking for a winner here. Mertesacker tried to get there. He didn't get anything on it. It goes behind, and that will probably be that, you'd think, anyway.
Well, that was a good delivery, exactly where you'd want the ball. Sometimes they say if you don't get a flick on, you'd like it just to go into the back of the net, which you see very often, and it was a decent delivery. Mertesacker almost nicked it for Arsenal, even though they probably don't deserve to win the game.
That is it. 2-2, which means that both teams will pick up 3 points. 1 point each for the draw, and a couple of goals each as well. You get points for them in this competition. Good fight back by Arsenal.
Well, in the end, they showed spirit in that, and I think we said that if there's a little bit more urgency about Arsenal, I think that they play better. Arteta came on, Sanya came on, and it seemed to make a difference. Chamberlain, Walcott, and I just like the aggressiveness in which they had in the second half, and I think that's the way they need to play. I think Arsenal fans love that they play nice football and they keep possession, but at times I think they need to try and get away from just having loads of possession and just being a little bit more dangerous and ruthless, like Napoli was in the first half.
Many thanks. Owen Hargreaves has been with me today here at the Emirates Stadium. We're back here tomorrow. Here, lots to talk about, I think, for the boys in the studio. Arsenal 2, Napoli 2. Let's hand it back to Jake Humphrey and co.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, lots to talk about. And the phrase "a game of two halves," although completely correct, is also banned. That cliché is banned for the next few minutes as we talk about that match and reflect on a brilliant comeback from Arsenal. And just to remind you, plenty more action as well from the Emirates Cup coming your way over the course of the weekend. Tomorrow, our build-up will